YouTube TV series idea. Show about YouTubers uh, in general as a beginner, someone that's already made it. Different characters. So a series about these. Maybe perhaps we choose four to five leads. One would be sports and perhaps some other subject. Another would be into gaming and like movies and anime, toys. Maybe two of those would be, so we would connect them that way. Another one would be into everything political, following things, conspiracies. Very. Then we have one that is a character that watches them all. He's jumping from one thing to another, not totally passionate about just one thing, but always jumping onto every single genre. But you start seeing in the outside world, you start seeing the story of the characters, what their day to day is, the relationships they're holding, which ones are actually portraying themselves as their natural selves on camera, and which ones are lying and creating a fictional character, and then we start going in deeper into the effects, like where, example, one of the characters is being affected by his time doing YouTube videos, and the struggles perhaps of another character that is starting off with maybe the cheapest camera and a very, very humble apartment, to his uprise to where he's able to afford and get free things and is now living lavishly. And you see this his transformation from one character to the other, and whether he wants to look back, and whether he loses himself in the process, or if he finds him, rediscovers himself after, by the end of the show, that he's actually become this thing he hated the most, but he will understand it because he actually went through it. And that's the ride. So most people don't consider that sometimes you have to go through something in order to be able to express it or feel it or say it. But it doesn't mean that someone else can't hear the details. And the more details you give, the more that person will actually go through it with you, because it doesn't have to be something that you have to go through. If you share it with enough detail, that's to give the other person the opportunity to basically feel what you feel, if you truly want them to feel. Well, stepped out of the subject, but the continuation, but actually all of that I said actually would fit into the narrative and how we want to condition this show to basically put out the kind of message that I'm trying to send, which is a very healing message. One of, yeah, sure, we all start off, but where we end is where we choose to end, or where we're led, because we have all those variables there. So you'll be able to experience these regular people turned YouTubers, different scenarios. You're gonna see one that actually we follow him as far as he gives up doing it, and through the show he's not doing it, and he's doing other things like living his life, watching videos, and then we introduce what gets him back into it. And then, like the fans, by that time, they're always like saying, when is he gonna jump in? When is he gonna make videos again? So we're gonna be like, oh, where is, some people out of the audience is gonna be talking about like, well, who is this character and why is he's not even doing YouTube videos? Why is he on there? Why is he on the show? So you're gonna have different forms of debate on the subject matter of this one character, why he's still there, and then you're gonna see the connection between all the characters. And how they all, in a way, are being connected through this process. And that's when you, for example, you look at different shows, and then you end up watching these shows, and you realize that all of the shows you've been watching, all those people are hanging out, and how they all connected you to their shows. And then you realize, oh, everyone is pretty much connected in one way or another to their particular likes. And then also see that maybe that guy that you thought was only into that was actually into all the other stuff as well. So these are the kind of things or ideas that I feel the show would work for. What would we call the name of the show now? That's very interesting. This is, in a way, you're kind of getting my blog on if this ever hits, YouTube, which I hope to sell it to them, or maybe partner up with them more likely to try to make it happen. I think my ideas are very interesting to say the least. To make it something more of an entertaining show than anything else. Hope for the show is that the show becomes a hit. Walking Dead, well, Walking Dead style and Breaking Bad style, and all the good styles. But at the same time, it becomes its own. It shows a new style or its own interesting style. We can't say we didn't dip into any other genres to get this off the ground. And with YouTube, you know how many genres there are, so we're gonna be able to have so much subject matter to be able to dwell in, get into, and really make different episodes. Perhaps maybe one episode is gonna be animated. You never know. One, as it's happening, it's jumping from live action, anime, like that for each of the characters, and then it switches to all of them having it at the end. So they all go through their different phases. We can do one show like that. See, now I'm just giving out show ideas. Is it unfair that I'm already giving the first episode, second episode, third episode of the show? How it works? No. Well, at least to the brilliant minds that should come on board, because I expect someone like James Cranston to show. I mean, I want a caliber actors working on the show. But then again, anyone can show up, even characters from back in the day, 80s. I want to get some of those 60s, 50s actors to come on. I want any and all actors that has work, that have had work in Hollywood, that need a job to try out for this show, because this show is so innovative and so new. It doesn't have, like, you don't have to be a certain type to be on it. You don't have to be, you know, typecast. You don't have to have a certain look. As long as you're breathing and you're interested in acting and you want to try out for my show, my friends, you can. All right. Now, I may even do a game show out of this one thing, because you know what? If I make it happen, what would happen is, of course, everyone would come on my show and I would say, hey, you fit this part, you fit that part, and I'll put you all you motherfuckers in the show. Some I will pay, and some, well, you guys get to do it if you really want to do it. That's because you feel like doing it. It's not because someone told you or told you had to be there and put a gun to your head. It's because you really love what I'm doing and you want to help me out. Period. So see, if you help me out, hey, you know what? I appreciate it. And if you don't, I appreciate at least your time for listening to this conversation. And fuck you too, motherfucker. You like that one? But that's life. Okay, so that was just an idea for a show that I'm trying to pitch to YouTube. Like RedTube, to put on this series, and it is about YouTube. So peace out.